Let's be real for a second. Your 401k is probably down, your buddy who was a crypto genius a year ago is suddenly really quiet, and every single time you unlock your phone, some headline is screaming about a recession. The entire financial world feels like it's holding its breath and everyone is terrified to breathe out. So the question isn't if the storm is coming, it's what are you going to do when it makes landfall?
Okay, let's just get right into it. This number, 217%, this is the reason I haven't been sleeping. This is what's known as the Buffett indicator. It's basically Warren Buffett's favorite gut check for the stock market. And right now, it is screaming at the top of its lungs that stocks are more overvalued than at almost any other point in modern history. Think of it like Wall Street's doomsday clock, and it is just inches from midnight. And look, it's not just one scary number. The VIX, this is Wall Street's official panic meter. When it's low, everyone's chill, sipping lattes. When it's high, the pros in the $1,000 suits are sweating right through them. A normal, calm day is like a 12 to 20 on this thing. It has recently spiked to over 60. That's not turbulence, that is brace for impact level of fear.
So all of this got me thinking, and I had this crazy, maybe really stupid idea. What if I stopped just talking about all this doom and gloom and actually did something? You know, what if I took my own money, my actual hard-earned, real-life cash, and used it as a guinea pig for all of us? So yeah, that's what I'm doing. My mission for this video? To stress test 3 supposedly safe investments to see which one can actually survive the coming financial storm. I'm building the ultimate financial fortress, and you're going to watch me do it step by step. But hang on. If you want to see if this whole mission ends with me sipping a pina colada on a beach, or more likely, if you just want to watch me light a pile of my own money on fire, you know what to do. Smash that subscribe button and give this video a like to help fund this highly questionable experiment. And seriously, tell me in the comments what other insane financial challenge I should try next, because apparently I enjoy financial pain. Okay, let's get to it. Let's build this thing.
So, first things first, why are we even talking about building a financial fortress right now? Well, it's because the markets are basically giving us every single warning sign of a Category 5 hurricane that is heading straight for our portfolios.
I mean, this isn't just one little warning light on the dashboard. The entire thing is flashing bright red. You've got CNN's Fear and Greed Index swinging around like a broken compass. You've got the VIX, the panic meter, going completely haywire. The Buffett indicator is at DEFCON 1. But honestly, maybe the biggest sign of all? The man himself, Warren Buffett, is currently sitting on a record-breaking $381 billion in cash. When the world's greatest investor is hoarding cash instead of buying stocks, you pay attention.
So here's the bottom line. A storm is brewing. The tide of easy money that we've all been swimming in is finally going out, and we're all about to find out who's been swimming naked. So when the market is a raging sea, where do you build your fortress? Where do you actually hide your cash so it doesn't get washed away? Well, let's meet our 3 contenders.
All right, first up, contender number 1. This is the simplest, the most straightforward, the one your grandma has been nagging you about for years. We're calling it the Cash Fortress, or, by its much more boring name, the High Yield Savings Account.
Just think of the HYSA like this. It's the simple, reliable brick house from the Three Little Pigs story. It is not sexy, it has 0 frills, but when the big bad wolf of a market crash comes huffing and puffing, this is the house that isn't going to get blown down. It's solid, it's dependable, and best of all, it actually pays you interest just for parking your money there.
And here is exactly why this is a real contender right now. Your average big name, too big to fail bank is paying you a pathetic 0.40% on your savings. That's not an interest rate, that's an insult. It's barely enough to buy a gumball. But a top-tier high-yield savings account, they're paying 5.00%. That is more than 12 times better. We're talking about the difference between finding some loose change in your couch cushions and actually earning real, tangible money on your cash.
And a competition for your cash is getting kind of weird and pretty wonderful. You've got Varo Bank, who's the current champ. You've got Altheve, which is a church-based credit union. There's Fitness Bank, where you literally have to track your daily steps to get the best interest rate. And my personal favorite, Badass Bank. Yes, that is its real name. I promise you, I am not making that up.
So let's just break it down. The pros of the Cash Fortress? They're obvious. It's insanely safe, insured by the federal government up to $250,000. Your money is super liquid, meaning you can grab it whenever you need it, and the rates are way, way better than a traditional bank. The cons? Well, those rates are variable, which means they can drop at any time. Some accounts have kind of weird rules, and let's be totally honest, this is not going to make you a millionaire. It's a fortress, not a rocket ship.
Okay, so if the HYSA is a sturdy brick house, our second contender is like a reinforced concrete bunker buried 50 feet underground.
Let me introduce you to contender number 2, the government's IOU.
We're talking about U.S. Treasuries, specifically the short-term ones called T-bills. Put simply, this is just you loaning money directly to the U.S. government. It is backed by the full faith and credit of the United States, which basically makes it the safest investment on planet Earth. Because, if the U.S. government can't pay you back, we all have much bigger, more Mad Max-style problems to worry about. And right now, this ultra-safe bunker is paying a very respectable 4 to 5% return. That's a fantastic rate for something that has virtually zero risk of you losing your money. It's right up there with the best HYSAs, but with some pretty key differences. But, and this is a big but, there's some, let's say, drama brewing around this supposedly impenetrable bunker. Uncle Sam, well, he's got a bit of a spending problem. A really, really big one, actually.
The numbers are, well, they're not great. The federal debt is over 126% of our entire country's economic output, and the interest we're paying on that debt is at the highest level since World War II. So is this bunker built on a sinkhole? Well, kinda, but there's a catch. The US dollar is the world's reserve currency. Everybody needs dollars, which gives the US a massive safety buffer that other countries just don't have.
So, the pros for the government IOU: it is the safest investment on Earth, period. The return is guaranteed, and, this is a big one, the earnings are exempt from state and local taxes, which is a huge bonus for people in high-tax states. The cons? Buying them is a little weird. You got to deal with these auctions. They're less liquid than a savings account. And yeah, there's that whole multi-trillion-dollar national debt thing just kind of lurking in the background.
And now for our third and final contender. This one's a little more mysterious. This isn't a simple house or a bunker. Nope, this is a high-tech automated defense system. Meet contender number 3, the low-drama robot.
Or as Wall Street likes to call them, defensive ETFs. So what the heck is a defensive ETF? Think of it like a personal bodyguard for your portfolio, or maybe a high-tech panic room for your money. Its entire job is to stay invested in the stock market, but to do it with way less drama. Its whole purpose is to stay cool when everyone else is freaking out.
Now, to understand this robot, you only have to learn one stupid Wall Street word: beta. It sounds super complicated, but I promise you, it's not. Beta is just a fancy number that measures how much your investment panics when the whole market panics. A high beta stock is like a caffeinated squirrel in traffic. It just goes nuts. A low beta stock is a Zen master meditating on a mountaintop. These defensive ETFs are programmed to find the Zen masters.
And there are all different models of these robots. You've got SPLV, which is super simple. It just scans the S&P 500 and buys the 100 most boring, least volatile stocks it can find. Then you have something wild like PTLC. This thing has an on-off switch. If the market starts to crash, it literally sells its stocks and hides in super safe T-bills. It's a robot that runs away so we can fight another day. It's genius! Others like VTIP and QLTA just focus on holding the absolute safest kinds of bonds to ride out the storm. So, the pros of hiring a robot bodyguard: it keeps you invested with less drama, it's diversified, and it's literally designed to protect you in a downturn. The cons, and this is critical, it still has risk. It's low volatility, not no volatility. They can be a little more complex to understand, and in a massive, raging bull market, they'll probably lag behind because they're built for safety, not for speed. Okay, we have met our contenders. We have the simple brick house, the underground nuclear bunker, and the high-tech robot bodyguard. We've heard the sales pitch for all three. Now, it's time for the ultimate stress test. It is time to lock them in the cage together and see who comes out alive.
We are not just going to talk about theory. We are going to throw these fortresses into the gauntlet. Two of the ugliest financial storms in recent memory. First up, the insane flash crash of March 2020, when COVID shut down the entire world. And second, the long, grinding, painful bear market of 2022.
So the challenge is simple. I took a hypothetical $10,000 and invested it in each of our 3 fortresses right before the 2022 apocalypse began. No trying to time the market, no getting out early. We're just going to see who survived and who got vaporized. Let the games begin.
First up, the Cash Fortress, our humble little HYSA. While the rest of the financial world was literally on fire, the brick house was completely fine. In fact, it wasn't just fine, it actually grew. Our $10,000 calmly and quietly turned into $10,250. It was just sitting in a cozy little house with a fireplace while everything burned outside. Boring, but undeniably effective.
Next, the government's IOU. The short-term T-bills, the contender we chose, did great.
They turned $10,000 into $10,200, basically tying with the HYSA. But look what happened if you picked the wrong kind of bunker. Long-term government bonds got absolutely hammered in 2022. They would have turned your $10,000 into just $7,500. The lesson here is crucial. Not all bunkers are built the same.
And now for the main event, the broader stock market, the S&P 500 versus our low-drama robot. In 2022, the S&P 500 got demolished, a brutal 19% drop. Your $10,000 would have shrunk to just about $8,100. But our robot, the low-volatility ETF, it only lost 5%. Let me say that again. The market fell almost 20%, and the robot only fell 5%. That's not a shield, that's a force field. It took a punch that knocked out the heavyweight champion of the world, and it barely even flinched. It did its job perfectly.
Okay, the stress test is over. The dust has finally settled. We saw who could take a punch and who couldn't. So, what does all this mean for you? What's the final verdict? How do you build your own perfect financial fortress?
All right, here's the final scorecard. The Cash Fortress, the HYSA, is by far the easiest to use, but it has the lowest return potential. It's perfect for your emergency fund or for cash you know you're going to need in the next year or two. The government's IOU is a bit more complicated, but it offers the highest possible safety. It's best for tax-conscious savers who prioritize ultimate, bomb-proof security above all else. And finally, the low-drama robot. It's the most complex, but it lets you stay invested with a safety net. Perfect for people who want to be in the market but are terrified of the big drops.
So let's just distill this down to the key takeaways. HYSAs are best for cash you need to get your hands on quickly and easily. T-bills are the ultimate safe harbor, and they come with a nice tax bonus. Defensive ETFs are the brilliant compromise that lets you ride out the storm without completely abandoning the ship. But probably the most important lesson from all of this, don't try to time the market. A defensive strategy isn't something you do after the crash starts, it's the fortress you build before the storm ever arrives.
Because make no mistake, the next storm is coming. It's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. The signals are flashing, the alarms are ringing, so the only question that really matters now is, when that storm finally hits, will you be ready? How will you protect your portfolio?